Right now at 5, a teen texting for help ends with the arrest of 2 people.
Now we've got a warmer start for us today than what we had yesterday, and it's going to be hot and humid through today. We'll take a look at that forecast coming up.
And a Mulberry, Kansas family loses their horses in a trailer fire.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. So it's a little bit warmer outside this morning. Not significantly so, but it is a pinch warmer, and it's going to get hotter and hotter and hotter over the next couple of days across the area, unfortunately. I know we had that really chilly start yesterday, but summer not letting go of us. We also at least still have some scattered thunderstorm chances out there. So let's take a look down the road at what we are expecting. As we head through the afternoon, we're actually going to start our day with a few more clouds thanks to some thunderstorm activity across central Oklahoma. Then once that clears out, we're going to have the possibility later this afternoon into the early evening hours for at least some scattered pop-up thunderstorms across the area. Not just in southwest Missouri, that you may have seen them briefly fizzle up over here in southeast Kansas, but we could see a few pop-up thunderstorms out there as we head through the afternoon and early evening hours. Once that clears out, we'll go into our Wednesday. We've got one round of storms that's going to clip our northern counties, but should stay out in central Missouri as we go into the morning and early afternoon on Wednesday. Yeah, take a look at those temperatures. They don't look too pleasant, unfortunately. Then we're going to see another round of storms later in the evening, possible along the I-44 corridor. And then what we're watching overnight Wednesday is going to be development of additional showers and thunderstorms as we go through the overnight Wednesday into early Thursday morning. And some of those could be strong, possibly low-grade severe. So that's what we're keeping an eye on right here. As you can see, that elevated risk area that clips the northern half of our viewing area and then translates into a low end risk for us on Thursday as some of these storms begin to make their way out. MoDOT camera 20th and range line looking good so far, and from the KDOT camera at 69 and East 520th Avenue, not too bad either. And as we look at our camera at 7th and range line, well, it's dark because the sun's up. This has been an ongoing thing. I'm going to have to call the airport and find out what's going on because this is like the third day where we've not had sky conditions reported in Joplin. Well, I'll tell you, it's partly cloudy. It's 73 right now in Joplin, so warmer by about 10 to 13 degrees warmer than what we were yesterday. 71 Fort Scott Lamar, 70 Pittsburgh Nevada, 69 in Nevada, 73 Chanute Parsons, and 74 Neodesha, 71 Miami, 69 Neosho. And as we get our morning started, again, thanks to the storms off to our southwest, we're talking mostly cloudy skies, but look at this, warming up faster, mid-80s by late morning. And by this afternoon, yeah, mid to upper 90s out there. We'll have those partly cloudy skies, maybe a couple of thunderstorms here and there. And as we head into the evening, those pop-ups clear out. We stay hot. We go back into the mid-70s overnight. And then, yeah, alert day tomorrow. We're talking heat index values upwards of 110 degrees tomorrow. Could be over 100 today. 101 for the high for us on Wednesday, 99 on Thursday. Scattered thunderstorm chances continue through Friday, and then we do get knocked back down into the upper 80s and lower 90s by the weekend. Tanya?
All right, thanks, Chris. A teen texts she's in trouble, which leads to a police pursuit in Bates County, Missouri. At about 10:15 Sunday night, authorities received information about a female who was 18 years old, held against her will by 2 men and taken from the Kansas City area. According to the report, the girl's mother had received text messages from her daughter describing the 2 males and the vehicle. A trooper and a Bates County deputy spotted the vehicle at about 10:20 and engaged in pursuit. Authorities were able to box in the vehicle and take the suspects into custody. Female was reunited with her family. A search of the vehicle revealed a Draco AK-47 pistol. Now, this is a developing story. You can head over to KOAMnewsnow.com as new information becomes available. The body of a child has been recovered in an Oklahoma lake, and another child is still missing. Divers are searching Lake Overholser near Oklahoma City. They believe the 2 children floated downstream. Police rescued 2 other people. The 2 rescued said the children are 10 and 11 years old. The manhunt is over for a suspect wanted for attempted murder in southeast Kansas. Authorities captured 61-year-old Charles Amos late Sunday night in Oklahoma City. The Cherokee County Sheriff says Amos was driving a stolen van when he ran out of gas in Cherokee County, Kansas. and then tried to siphon gas out of a farm truck. The sheriff says when the truck's owner and family confronted Amos, he fired 2 rounds from a shotgun at one of them and then fled in a pickup owned by one of the family members. Law officers from Kansas, Oklahoma, and the U.S. Marshal's Office worked together on a day-long manhunt, ending with the arrest just before midnight Sunday night. Charges against Amos include attempted murder and aggravated robbery. Authorities arrest a Chiefs superfan who had been on the run, accused in a string of bank robberies. 28-year-old Xavier Babudar, also known as Chiefsaholic, is charged in federal court for bank theft and transporting stolen property across state lines. He had been a fugitive for the past 4 months, and now authorities have arrested him in Lincoln, California. The U.S. Attorney's Office suspects him of being involved in a series of bank robberies across the Midwest and laundering stolen proceeds through casinos. Well, violent crime in Kansas dropped last year compared to previous years. That's according to the Kansas Bureau of Investigation's 2022 Kansas Crime Index report. The report says violent crime decreased by 4.3% in 2022 compared to 2021. However, despite the decrease, the number of violent crimes in 2022 remained 9.2% above the 10-year average. It has not yet returned to pre-pandemic levels. A Lawrence County, Missouri man died from injuries suffered in a crash from last Thursday. Authorities say 38-year-old Jared Luters of Aurora was driving east on US 60 in Verona when he crossed the center line and hit 82-year-old Mance Wilkerson's car head-on. Wilkerson passed away and Luters suffered serious injuries. Mulberry, Kansas family's 2 horses are killed in a trailer fire near Oklahoma City. Authorities say the trailer was fully engulfed when firefighters arrived. The OHP says a pickup hauling the trailer caught fire, eventually spreading to the fifth-wheel trailer. Family was driving back from the National Little Britches Rodeo Finals to the International Finals Youth Rodeo. That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, the Outlaws take on the Griffins in some summer baseball. We'll have the outcome of that game in sports. Plus, the new Mission Impossible movie is coming out, and that makes us want to know, what's your favorite Mission Impossible movie? And how game night may help making kids learn math more fun. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back.
Again at Indigo Sky Casino, Highway 60 west of Seneca, Missouri.
Well, 7 months ago, Cordell Tench was out of the sports of track completely and selling cell phones for a living. Fast forward ahead to current day, and he's a multiple-time NCAA champion at Pitt State, set a collegiate record a couple of weeks ago, and competed in the U.S. National Championships this past weekend. Late Sunday night, Tench continued his unbelievable redemption story when he finished second in the 110-meter hurdle finals, missing out on first by just 3/100ths of a second. However, that's still more than good enough to qualify for the U.S. national team in the upcoming Track and Field World Championships that are held in Hungary next month. Immediately after the race, he was asked what was going through his mind, and Tench explained he really couldn't put it into words. "I've dreamed about it forever. I get to wear Team USA." Keep you updated on the Pitt State alums' progress through the summer. Well, the Outlaws just wrapped up their All-Star break and began the second half of the regular season with a week-and-a-half-long homestand. Last night, they kicked things off by hosting Nevada. Starting things off in the bottom of the fourth, Outlaws trailing 1-0. The guy on first, chopper to third, might be a double play. Nevada only gets one. Joplin manager Chris Dawson upset, saying the second baseman got pulled off the bag. Not to worry, though. Go to a couple batters later, Cole Hill smashes one to left. That'll drop and bring in 2 runners, part of a 5-run fourth inning for the Outlaws. On the mound, Caden Bressler, really solid for the Outlaws. He gets the strikeout in the fifth. He goes 7 and only allows 2 runs. Fifth inning, more traffic on the base path. 6-1 Outlaw lead, and Corey Syracuse steals second, then third. Next batter is Ethan Kruger. He's going to hit one over the center fielder's head. Outlaws win big. Final score 9-2. In professional baseball, no games happening right now because of the All-Star break, but still plenty of news because we're in the middle of the MLB draft. Things got started Sunday with the first 2 rounds. Yesterday's action just wrapped up with rounds 3 through 10, all taking place yesterday afternoon into yesterday evening. And here are their picks from rounds 3 to 8. A couple that stand out: former Mink Leaguer and Missouri State alum Spencer Niv-Enns is selected with the 142nd overall pick. Also, Hero Wyatt, who just finished high school in Connecticut, is committed to attend USC. Got picked by Kansas City with the 75th pick in the 3rd round. Now he'll pick between college and starting his career with the Royals. Man, that's a tough choice. Cardinals very busy yesterday as well. Here's who they took in rounds 3 to 8. Travis Honeyman from Boston College was thought of as one of the best names not taken on the first day, and St. Louis grabs him with the 90th overall pick. Zach Levinson is another ACC player from Miami that the Cards take a couple rounds later. Quinn Matthews, also a name to remember, stayed in school at Stanford after getting picked last year. Well, still to come, Johannesburg, South Africa sees something they haven't seen since 2012, snow. Plus, we got another check of our forecast, which does not include any snow, when the KOAM Morning News returns.
Tax credits and savings. GoPascal.com.
Evergy Bucket Rides are back, baby. Monday, August 14th. Sign up required.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It is now 5:16 on this Tuesday morning. So we're going to have some cloud cover through the morning thanks to some showers and thunderstorms back down in parts of central Oklahoma. And then as we head into the afternoon and early evening, we could see some pop-up thunderstorms, maybe even a couple of organized thunderstorms, again, afternoon and early evening hours. These will eventually move on out of here, and then that'll just leave us with these partly cloudy, mostly clear skies overnight. And then as we head into our Wednesday, it's going to be hot. Could have some thunderstorms clipping our northern counties in the morning from a complex that'll form well out to our northwest. And then we'll go through the rest of the day and get, downright hot across the area. A few pop-up storms possible. Then into the evening, a few more organized showers and thunderstorms possible across the area. And then overnight, another batch of showers and thunderstorms possible. And then another batch of showers and thunderstorms possible as we head into our Thursday morning across the area. And some of those could be strong, low-grade severe. So we do have an elevated risk. Technically, as we've mentioned, it's technically tomorrow, but really it's overnight Wednesday into Thursday morning. And because of those possible thunderstorms, there's a low wind risk on Thursday for some of the residual activity. So we're not anticipating anything significant out of this, but we, of course, will keep an eye on it for you. MoDOT camera, 20th and Range Line looking great. KDOT camera at 69 and East 520th Avenue. It is also looking great. Also looking great is our camera at 7th and Range Line. We've got some partly cloudy skies out there. It is 73 right now, so about 13 degrees warmer now than where we were yesterday. All of us warmer than where we were yesterday morning. We've got 69 Iola, 71 in Fort Scott, 70 Pittsburgh, Nevada, 71 in Lamar, Chatopa, Miami, and Independence, 74 though in Neodesha, a pinch warmer out there. As we get our morning started, again, we'll have that residual cloud cover from the thunderstorm complex out in central Oklahoma, but that doesn't stop us from getting hot though, mid-80s by late morning. We head into the afternoon, we're talking mid, maybe even some upper 90-degree readings out there, so we're talking heat index values today around 100 to 105. We'll go partly cloudy, see some of those pop-up thunderstorm chances. We'll start to clear out as we head through the late evening hours, and then overnight we'll go back to partly cloudy skies and stay quite warm into the mid-70s. We do have an alert day tomorrow for the heat. We're looking at highs in the low 100s, and our heat index values could be at or maybe even slightly above 110 tomorrow, so make sure you're taking precautions if you do have to be outdoors. We'll have 99 Thursday, 94 Friday, scattered thunderstorm chances. Cooler through the weekend as we drop back into the upper 80s and lower 90s, and we'll see some additional scattered thunderstorm chances for us by Sunday and Monday. Well, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 is expected to be the biggest blockbuster movie of the summer. The stars of the action-adventure spy thriller walked the red carpet in New York last night, and Jared Hill has the details.
Tom Cruise thrilled fans on the red carpet Monday night ahead of the U.S. premiere of Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1.
What they can expect is an epic adventure, a big cinematic experience, incredible visuals, sound, characters, an amazing cast.
And if you ask the fans,
the stunts, Tom's stunts.
And there are a ton of years in the planning, heart-pounding, death-defying stunts.
Looks like we lost them.
Cruise and co-star Haley Atwell speeding through Rome while handcuffed. A fight between super spy Ethan Hunt and his arch nemesis atop a speeding train. And Hunt driving his motorcycle off a 4,000-foot cliff.
Thinking about, the adventure of doing something like that and trying to find a way, not only just the stunt, but how do we film it? How do we delight an audience and put them right on the edge of your seat?
A feeling the cast share.
Are you alive? Every time he would do a take, it's like, are you alive?
Beyond the stunts, there's the story. Hunt and his team's mission is to track down and stop a terrifying new weapon, AI, before it gets into the wrong hands and destroys humanity.
It's been a long time, fam.
Isai Morales stars as the franchise's newest villain, Gabriel.
It's a way for me to exercise my own, bad guy.
Atwell plays Grace, Ethan's partner and possible love interest.
She's consistently inconsistent. She's playful, she's mischievous, but never calculating.
Cruise says he's given it his all for the fans.
It's a privilege to entertain them. I'm a fan of movies first and foremost, and I want people to have a great time in movies.
Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 slams into theaters on Wednesday. Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.
Now, there's so much action and adventure in this story that it couldn't all fit into one movie. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 2 is expected next summer. And you can watch all 6 of the previous Mission Impossible movies on Paramount+. And that brings us to our question for you this morning. What is your favorite Mission Impossible movie? Is it Mission Impossible? Number 2, number 3, Ghost Protocol, Rogue Nation? Or maybe you've never seen any of them. Well, we want to hear from you. Make sure you take time to vote through our website, through our app, and take part in the discussion on our Facebook page. And we will be back with Health Watch right after this.
The new year with deposit checks anywhere, anytime with the Arvest Go mobile app from Arvest Bank. Goodbye limits, hello possibilities.
Topping Health Watch this morning, family game night may help make learning math more fun for kids. That's according to a new study published last week in the journal Early Years. Researchers reviewed 19 studies that looked at the individual impact of 25 games on learning. The studies used several different tests adopted in early education to measure things like arithmetic speed and accuracy. They found board games can help young kids grow stronger math abilities. In more than 30% of the games, kids saw a significant improvement in math ability compared with those who did not play. The studies included games like dominoes and chutes and ladders. Even just a little bit of exercise can counter depression in older adults with chronic conditions. That's according to a 10-year study published Monday in the journal JAMA Network Open. Researchers followed more than 4,000 Irish adults for a decade. Every 2 years, they were asked about their physical activity and depressive symptoms. The study found the more time people spent exercising, the better they felt. People who worked out 20 minutes a day, 5 days a week, had a 16% lower rate of depressive symptoms, and those who exercised 2 hours a day benefited the most, with symptoms reduced by 23%. Well, it's still unclear why colorectal cancer rates are rising among younger adults, but the latest data from the American Cancer Society shows 1 in 5 new cases of this cancer are in patients in their early 50s or younger. No matter your age, colonoscopies can not only detect cancer, but prevent it. Mandy Gaither shows what goes into the procedure and explains why doctors say you should not be afraid of getting it done.
At age 45, Merlane Pierre was having bowel problems.
Constipation, stomach hurting a lot.
Her doctor recommended a colonoscopy, but Pierre says she was nervous about the procedure and put it off for about a year.
Then I decided, you know what, let me just go ahead and do it for the sake of my kids.
I understand most people are somewhat fearful, but I think the fear is misguided.
Dr. Bruce Salzberg says most patients are afraid of the bowel prep. From pills to liquids, different doctors prescribe different methods to clean a patient's colon out at home. The person will also be on a clear liquid diet the day before up until the procedure. Before a colonoscopy, anesthesia is given. Salzberg says patients don't feel anything during the procedure.
This is a colonoscope, and yes, it's a long black tube, the dreaded long black tube. And what it is basically a camera.
Doctors use knobs to control the movement of the camera, which can turn left, right, up, and down.
We clean out the colon with our fluids that we have, and we insert air to inflate the colon. And then as we withdraw the scope, that's when we look in a 360-degree manner and check under all the folds, anywhere that looks to be suspicious, and we identify if there's anything abnormal.
If a polyp is found, it's removed, reducing risk of cancer.
You don't feel that. You don't have any nerve endings in your colon.
Pierre's procedure came back clear. She doesn't have to do it again for another 5 years.
Coming out of it, definitely nothing to worry about.
The U.S. Preventative Services Task Force recommends that adults ages 45 to 75 be screened for colorectal cancer. The task force recommends that adults age 76 and older and anyone at increased risk for colorectal cancer talk to their doctor about screening. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
And we've got ourselves a much warmer start across the 4 states ahead of a very hot day and even hotter days ahead. We'll have another look at that forecast when we come back.
Missing some. Right now at 5:30, a historic home gets demolished in order to make way for a new Popeyes restaurant.
We've got ourselves a pretty decent start to our Tuesday, but it's going to be hot and even hotter as we go through the parts of this week. We'll talk about that and some storm chances coming up.
And another historic building hits the auction block in Reddings Mill.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It is 5:31. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. So it's not bad out there again this morning, but we're upwards of 10 to 15 degrees warmer now than where we were yesterday morning. And that's a sign of things to come, as it is going to get downright hot today. However, this also starts the next few days of some scattered storm chances as well. And as we head into the afternoon today, we're going to actually start our day relatively cloudy thanks to a thunderstorm complex that's back down in central Oklahoma, and then as we head into our afternoon, we're going to start to see the possibility of some scattered thunderstorms, which we're going to show you. I promise we will. See, there they are. This is the cloud cover by noon today. It'll start to clear up a bit, and then we'll start to see the possibility of some scattered pop-up storms around the area as we head into the afternoon and into the evening hours. Once that clears out, we're actually going to clear out briefly overnight before we start to go partly cloudy. And then as we head through our Wednesday, we're going to see some different chances for thunderstorms on our Wednesday, especially as we head later into the afternoon, evening, and overnight hours. So here we are about 7. You can see we've got some scattered thunderstorm activity out there, and this will push through into the overnight hours. And then we could see some additional thunderstorm activity overnight, and we're expecting more thunderstorm activity as we head into our Thursday evening as well. So for tomorrow, primarily tomorrow night into early Thursday morning, there's an elevated risk for some stronger storms out there. So something we'll keep an eye on. We're not expecting anything widespread, but that possibility does exist. And then we've got a low end risk for some stronger storms as we head into our Thursday. MoDOT camera, 20th and range line. We are looking good this morning, and we are looking good from the KDOT camera at 69 and East 520th Avenue. Quick check of our temperatures in Joplin right now. We've got the partly cloudy skies, 73. Around the area, again, 10 to 15 degrees warmer than where we were. 71 Lamar, Pittsburgh, 73 Parsons, 71 Miami, 68 Neosho. And as we get our morning started, some cloud cover thanks to the storms in central Oklahoma, but we still get hot. Temperatures pushing mid-80s by late morning. We'll have another full look at your forecast here in a few more minutes. Tanya?
All right, thanks, Chris. So Webb City Landmark will be demolished this week to make way for a new Popeyes restaurant. Built in 1908, the house on South Madison Street once belonged to the then mayor, George Washington Moore. Last owner of the place was Connie Sweet. She lived there for more than half a century and raised her kids there. According to the family, the house was for sale for 11 years. The city of Webb City says the house is not on any list of historic registers. And to honor the history of the house, the new Popeyes location will have a historical wall incorporating columns of the house and displaying pictures from it.
Our family, more than anyone, was hoping it was someone that could restore it and that it would still be here.
As you can see, the house has gotten, so far that you just can't bring it back to life.
Demolition started last Wednesday, and now they're taking down the garage, and the entire house should be on the ground by the end of the week. Popeyes construction is scheduled to start by August 1st, and the store should be open 4 months later. Another historic building, the Reddings Mill Bar and Grill, goes to the auction block. The property in Reddings Mill, Missouri, has a rich history dating back to the 1800s. First as a home, then resort, and then restaurant. The auction includes several pieces of furniture and appliances, as well as the building. The business says the auction will begin before 10 in the morning at the Newton County Courthouse in Neosho. Well, no chickens auctioned here, but maybe you'd be interested in raising some hens. On Monday, the Girard Public Library hosted a presentation on backyard chickens. An expert with the K-State Research and Extension Office delivered the presentation. It covered caring for chickens, their housing needs and design, and the basics of incubating eggs.
So if you're wanting chickens for egg production, you don't want to skimp on the quality of feed. So get a feed that is formulated for the growth stage of that chicken, because then it will have the protein content and all the nutrients the chickens need.
Next Monday, the Girard Public Library will host a paint night event. Veterinarians across central Arkansas are warning of a canine influenza outbreak. The flood of diagnoses comes as the vaccine for dog flu is in short supply. Macklin Johnson reports on what vets are seeing and what you need to know.
Here at Pinnacle Valley West Rock Animal Hospital, vets are seeing 8 to 10 dogs a day, all being diagnosed with a strain of canine influenza. And in talking with other vets across central Arkansas, they're sounding the alarm of a potential outbreak.
It's so contagious. It's an outbreak of the flu.
Dr. Sonia Laverne says the signs of canine flu started popping up at Pinnacle Valley West Rock Animal Hospital a few weeks ago. Multiple dogs coming in with typical signs of kennel cough, but worse.
Seemed a little sicker. Some of them had fevers. They had decreased appetite, increased lethargy.
A respiratory test showed one thing: canine influenza. After reporting to the state veterinarian, she learned it's happening across central Arkansas.
Confirmed positives in Conways and in the surrounding areas.
Soma Animal Clinic confirming with THV11 they recently diagnosed a case. This outbreak comes as the flu vaccination, which helps protect against both strains, is in short supply. Laverne says the animal hospital got wind of this and stocked up.
Dog flu's been around for a long time. It's just that we haven't really seen outbreaks here.
Dogs that go to dog shows, doggy daycare, the groomers, and boarding facilities are at a higher risk.
And we've been seeing in almost all the boarding facilities, it's like taking your kids to daycare. If something's out there, they're going to be susceptible.
If they are susceptible, here's what to look out for: coughing, sneezing, a nasal discharge. Maybe they're not eating as well or as active. But there is good news in the midst of this current outbreak.
The dogs that we've seen that have had it, even some of the more sick ones, they seem to be recovering.
Dr. Laverne also wants dog owners to be aware that a dog might have it, but it could be asymptomatic. Now, the biggest thing right now is to try to limit its skin contact with other dogs, since it is extremely contagious and can spread quickly. Well, this morning, we are discussing Mission Impossible.
And Tom Cruise thrilled fans on the red carpet Monday night ahead of the U.S. premiere of Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. And if you ask the fans, they say it's the stunts that's their favorite. There are tons of years in the planning, heart-pounding, death-defying stunts that take place.
Yeah, Cruise and co-star Haley Atwell speeding through Rome while handcuffed. A fight between super spy Ethan Hunt and his arch nemesis atop a speeding train. and Hunt driving his motorcycle off a 4,000-foot cliff. But beyond the stunts, there's the story. Hunt and his team's mission is to track down and stop a terrifying new weapon, AI, before it gets into the wrong hands and destroys humanity.
That brings us to our question for you this morning. What's your favorite Mission Impossible movie? So far, 100% of you say you've never seen the movies. I'm in that 100%. Wow. I've never seen them either. But for those of you who have, if you've seen one of them, make sure you take time to vote. We've got a number of options there for you. So make sure you do so through our website, through our app, and of course you can take part in the discussion on our Facebook page. Maybe share which one is your favorite. Maybe it's one I can go look up and see if I can track
Well,
down.
you should start with the first one.
Probably. And they're all streaming on Paramount Plus.
There you go. All right, that's a look at our top news stories. Coming up this half hour in the KOAM Morning News, the use of AI. Not in Mission Impossible. It's becoming more and more frequent in everyday life. But would you use it for dating?
Plus, Turkey accepts Sweden's bid to join NATO, but there's a cost to it. Turkey getting Sweden's support to join the EU. We'll have the latest.
You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back, but first, here's a live look from the Jasper County Youth Fair in Carthage, Missouri, which started last Saturday. Topping World Watch, parts of South Africa get snow for the first time in over a decade. A rare snowfall has kids playing outside and throwing snowballs in Johannesburg. A light blanket of snow covered the country's biggest city during a cold snap hitting the region. Now, many people were thrilled by the unusual snow, posted pictures of the city streets, parks, and cars that got a coating. Last time it snowed in Johannesburg was in August of 2012. Wow. Well, President Biden is overseas in Lithuania for the NATO summit, which kicks off today. Begins with a potential breakthrough for the alliance, as Sweden is now on the verge of becoming its newest member. Tina Kraus has the latest from London.
President Biden began the day at the presidential palace in Vilnius, meeting with Lithuania's president ahead of the NATO summit. World leaders head into the conference with new momentum after Turkey dropped its objection to Sweden joining NATO.
Completing Sweden's accession to NATO is an historic step that benefits the security of all NATO allies at this critical time.
It's a step toward the unity Western leaders are determined to demonstrate in the face of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. But NATO's 31 nations are divided on how far to go on letting Ukraine join their ranks. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says Ukraine deserves to be part of the military alliance and is pressing NATO to pave a clear path for its membership. But President Biden says the war needs to end first, or other countries risk being pulled into the conflict. The president and Zelensky will meet one-on-one at the summit tomorrow. President Biden is still taking heat for his decision to provide Ukraine with cluster bombs, which are outlawed by many of America's closest allies. The president called it a choice between supplying the weapons or leaving Ukraine defenseless. The summit is expected to produce promises of more weapons and ammunition to bolster Kyiv's quest for victory. Tina Kraus, CBS News.
The NATO summit runs today and tomorrow. President Biden will then travel to Helsinki to celebrate Finland's recent entry into NATO as its 31st member. That's a look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. We'll be right back.
Internet from T-Mobile, just $50 a month.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 5:47 now on this Tuesday morning. So we're going to get some cloud cover from some thunderstorm activity down across parts of central Oklahoma. We won't see any of the thunderstorms, unfortunately, and unfortunately the cloud cover doesn't really do much for us in terms of our temperatures, but at least we'll have some cloud cover out there. We're going to look at pop-up storms possible by this afternoon into the early evening hours across the area. So not everyone will see rain, but at least a few of us may get a stray shower or two. Unfortunately, again, not really going to help us with our temperatures at all. Now, as we head into our Wednesday, we're going to see a few different opportunities for showers and thunderstorms, mainly as we head later into the evening and overnight hours for us on our Wednesday. We'll see a few scattered thunderstorms. We'll see a few more begin to develop, a few more organized batches try to get going overnight into early Thursday morning, and then we'll see additional thunderstorms possible by Thursday late evening as well. So because of that, we do have an elevated risk for some strong, possibly severe thunderstorms late tomorrow, and then we have a low end risk for the area as we head into Thursday for some additional possible strong storms. MoDOT camera 20th and range line looking good out there. Same from the KDOT camera at 69 and East 520th Avenue south of Pittsburgh. Our camera 7th and range line looks great as well. We've got some clouds out there, partly cloudy skies, 73 in Joplin, so much warmer than where we were yesterday, and that's the case for everybody. We got 70 Nevada, Fort Scott, 71 Lamar, Pittsburgh, Iola, 74 Chanute, Yates Center, 71 Chatopa, Miami, and 68 down in Neosho. As we get our morning started, again, we'll have that residual cloud cover from the southwest, but we still get hot, mid-80s by late morning. Highs today, mid-90s, heat index values up to 100 degrees, maybe up to 105, so make sure you're taking precautions out there. Partly cloudy, and again, maybe a few isolated thunderstorms. Then we head into this evening. Late evening, we go mostly clear. Overnight, we go into the mid-70s under partly cloudy skies across the area. And then we head into our Wednesday. Now, Wednesday, we do have an alert day because it is going to be dangerously hot. Look at these highs. Lower 100s, heat index values easily approaching 110 out there. And we could see the same repeat for us on Thursday as we go right around 99 degrees. We've got our evening thunderstorms or overnight thunderstorms Wednesday, late evening thunderstorms Thursday, evening thunderstorms on Friday, still in the mid-90s though. However, after that particular batch, we do cool off a bit back into the upper 80s, which is going to feel great compared to the upper 90s, lower 100s. We got another possible round of some scattered thunderstorms Sunday and Monday. And as we head into next week, temperatures will gradually begin to warm back up across the area. We'll start going lower to mid-90s, and we'll have some isolated thunderstorm chances Tuesday and Wednesday of next week as well. That's Check Your Forecast. We'll be right back after this. But first, we have another live look from the Jasper County Youth Fair in Carthage, which started on Saturday.
Well, we all know that dating is hard. Talking to a complete stranger can be challenging, and that's why a man in Florida decided to use AI technology to help. Kaylee Tracy has more details on this new app.
What's the typical opener you get from your guys?
Oh gosh. Usually it's something cheesy, something stupid.
That's a problem Tyler Hinkle says he's trying to fix.
I could tell that a lot of guys don't know what they're doing on online dating. They usually send very generic messages like, hey, what's up, how's it going, and stuff like that.
So he created the app Wing AI. It uses artificial intelligence as your wingman on dating apps.
We decided to mainly focus on guys because those are the ones that are usually the ones sending the first message. And but it works great for women as well.
Here's how it works. You take a picture of your match's profile or profile picture and upload it to the app. The app then generates a question for you to ask the person.
I think everyone who's gone on a dating app has had that experience where they match with somebody and they really don't maybe the person doesn't have much on their profile, they're not really sure what to say. And I think with this kind of app, we can help give advice that's going to really make the difference and get people into relationships, hopefully.
Henkel, a software engineer, says they tested the app over the past few months.
We tried two sets of lines. We tried the generic lines, kind of hey, what's up, how's it going? The things that guys normally send. And then we tried the lines generated from the app. And the generic lines only had a 40% response rate, and the ones generated from the app had about an 80 to 85% response rate.
You get 6 free icebreakers per day, or can pay $6 a week for unlimited questions.
It's really kind of giving you inspiration for what to say. Sometimes you might want to try different ideas and stuff like that, and so this helps you brainstorm.
Interesting. Curious to see how that works out. We'll be right back.
Making us the best.
Officers in Glendale, Arizona chased a pair of four-legged suspects who had escaped their owners on July 1st. Now, body cam footage released by the Glendale Police Department shows the officers wrangling the pair of loose goats. According to the department, one of the responding officers had experience wrangling farmyard animals, having caught a mule on the loose a few weeks earlier. Seems to be a common thing in Glendale. And an unusual police chase was caught on body camera video on June 29th as police officers in Louisville, Kentucky took off in pursuit of a runaway pig. Officers and residents were seen chasing the potbelly pig, who they named Mr. Bacon Bits. What a great name. Two people actually fell over during the pursuit. And finally, the officers said they managed to corner the pig in a backyard, and they used a dog pole to load the animal into a large dog crate and return it to its home. As the Berlin Zoo is handing out ice cream to its inhabitants, silverback Sango makes sure to get the best share of it. According to zookeepers, the silverback takes priority and other gorillas observe how he behaves. The cool treats for the primates are made of sugar-free fruit tea and yogurt. Pastel pigs and tapirs, home to Southeast Asia, also receive frozen vegetables and fruits.
You're going to want some of those frozen vegetables and fruit because it's going to be hot today. We'll have some cloudy skies this morning from some thunderstorm activity in central Oklahoma. We'll go mid-80s by late morning. As we head into the afternoon, we've got highs today pushing mid-90s out there. Heat index values up to 100, maybe a little higher. We could see some pop-up thunderstorms as we head into the afternoon, early evening hours across the area. They will go mostly clear late evening, staying pretty hot, and will be warm overnight, partly cloudy, mid-70s. We do have an alert day tomorrow. Highs lower 100s, heat index values easily 110, maybe higher. Could see that repeat on Thursday as we go into the upper 90s, around 99. Thunderstorm chances tomorrow night, Thursday night, and Friday evening, and then we'll cool down a bit this weekend, upper 80s with more rain chances. We'll be back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Sign up today for the Rich Brewer Memorial Registered.
Right now at 6, authorities apprehend the target of a manhunt wanted for attempted murder in southeast Kansas.
We've got a great but warm start to our Tuesday. It's going to get hot today. It's going to get hotter tomorrow, and we have some scattered storm chances. We'll take a look at that forecast coming up.
And one manhunt in the 4 states concludes, but another across the country gets underway as authorities search for a man with military training and considered armed and dangerous.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. Just after 6 o'clock on this Tuesday morning, a little bit warmer out there than yesterday morning by about 10 to 15 degrees warmer, and that's a sign of things to come as temperatures are really going to start to climb. Let's take a look at what we're expecting down the road. Now, we're going to get some cloud cover this morning because of a thunderstorm complex across parts of central Oklahoma. Then as we head into the afternoon and early evening hours, as you see here on the future track, we could see a couple of pop-up storms here and there, so not everybody getting rain, but we could see a few stray showers, maybe a thunderstorm or two. Then as we head into our Wednesday, we're going to be hot, we're going to be partly cloudy, and then we're going to watch for additional thunderstorm development late Wednesday night into early Thursday morning. So we have a few showers in the evening. I will see a few more organized thunderstorms later in the evening and into the overnight hours across the area. And some of those could be strong, possibly severe. And then we'll see another round as we head into Thursday evening. So we do have an elevated risk, at least right now, for tomorrow, for parts of the area, for, again, really late tomorrow night into early Thursday morning. And then for Thursday, we do have a low end risk for a few strong storms out there as well. So something we'll keep an eye on for you. All right. MoDOT camera, 20th and Range Line, looking good so far. Same from the KDOT camera at 69 and East 520th Avenue. Our camera at 7th and Range Line showing us an absolutely beautiful sunrise. The coloring out there looks amazing. We're sitting at 72 in Joplin. We've got partly cloudy skies out there, so again, warmer than where we were yesterday. And that's the case for everybody this morning. We've got 70 Nevada, Stockton, Fort Scott, Lamar, Pittsburgh, 75 in Chanute, 74 Yates Center, Neodesha, 71 Chatopa, Miami, and 68 68 in Neosho. As we get our morning started, again, some cloud cover from those storms in Oklahoma. We'll go mid-80s by late morning. Highs today, mid-90s out there. So heat index values even today could be right around 100 degrees. We'll go partly cloudy with a few scattered showers, maybe some pop-up storms out there. We'll clear out by the evening hours tonight. We're staying pretty toasty, and we'll stay pretty warm overnight as well under partly cloudy skies back to the mid-70s. It is going to get hotter this week, and we'll talk about that and your full forecast here in a few more minutes. Tanya?
All right, thanks, Chris. Authorities recover the body of a child from an Oklahoma lake, but another child remains missing. Divers are searching Lake Overholser near Oklahoma City. They believe the two children floated downstream. Police rescued 2 other people, and the 2 rescued said the children are 10 and 11 years old. Authorities arrest a Chiefs superfan accused in a string of bank robberies. 28-year-old Xavier Babudar, also known as Chiefs-aholic, is charged in federal court for bank theft and transporting stolen property across state lines. Fugitive for the past 4 months, and now authorities have arrested him in Lincoln, California. U.S. Attorney's Office suspects him of being involved in a series of bank robberies across the Midwest and laundering stolen proceeds through casinos. Well, some good news for Kansas as violent crime in the Sunflower State dropped last year compared to previous years. That's according to the Kansas Bureau of Investigation's 2022 Kansas Crime Index report. The report says violent crime decreased by 4.3% in 2022 compared to 2021. However, despite the decrease, the number of violent crimes in 2022 remained 9.2% above the 10-year average, and it has not yet returned to pre-pandemic levels. Authorities shut down a manhunt after they apprehend a suspect wanted for attempted murder in southeast Kansas. Authorities captured 61-year-old Charles Amos late Sunday night in Oklahoma City. Cherokee County Sheriff says Amos was driving a stolen van when he ran out of gas in Cherokee County, Kansas, and then tried to siphon gas out of a farm truck. The sheriff says when the truck's owner and family confronted Amos, he fired 2 rounds from a shotgun at one of them and then fled in a pickup owned by one of the family members. Law officers from Kansas, Oklahoma, and the U.S. Marshal's Office worked together on a day-long manhunt, ending with the arrest just before midnight Sunday night. Charges against Amos include attempted murder and aggravated robbery. A different manhunt is underway for a 34-year-old homicide suspect who escaped from a northwestern Pennsylvania jail late Thursday night. Authorities are warning that he is likely armed and dangerous and may be receiving some kind of assistance. Naomi Ruckham reports.
Authorities searching for an inmate who escaped from a Pennsylvania jail using tied bed sheets say they believe he is still in the area.
Regardless of where Burham may try to run, he will be pursued by the full force of law enforcement.
Investigators did not rule out the possibility that 34-year-old Michael Burham crossed state lines sometime after his Thursday night jail breakout. Burham was being held on arson and burglary charges, allegedly involved in the kidnapping of an elderly couple and suspected of killing a woman in western New York. The desperate search by local, multi-state, and federal authorities includes canine units, drones, and aircraft.
But I am convinced that the approach that we are taking will be successful. There is no doubt in my mind we will capture him.
Small stockpiles or campsites were found in wooded areas, some possibly connected to Burham, authorities say.
Definitely people are nervous, upset.
I believe at some point we will force him to make a mistake, and when he does, we will use that to our advantage.
Police warn that Burham, a survivalist with military training, is considered armed and dangerous and should not be approached. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News.
U.S. Marshals and Warren County, Pennsylvania Crime Stoppers have offered more than $9,000 in reward money for information leading to Burham's capture. To be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, you can download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, historic storms pummel the East Coast with heavy rains and flooding. One New York community had floodwaters overtake entire neighborhoods. We'll have the latest. Plus, lawmakers on Capitol Hill raised the alarm over a popular, highly caffeinated energy drink and its possible health risk to children. Summertime heat returns with a vengeance. Chris has another look at your forecast and how long the 4 states can expect to bake under triple-digit temperatures. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back. First, here's a live look from Jasper County Youth Fair in Carthage, Missouri.
July 6th, 13th, and 27th, 4 to 8 p.m. at Outpost
Schifferdecker Park from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Topping Nation Watch this morning, Northwestern University head football coach Pat Fitzgerald is fired amid allegations of hazing within the program. University President Michael Schill released a statement saying Fitzgerald was let go due to his quote, failure to know and prevent significant hazing. Fitzgerald previously said that he had no idea about any alleged hazing. However, according to Schill's letter, numerous current and former student athletes acknowledged hazing did occur. Schill said more details about Fitzgerald's successor will be announced within the next few days. Court records show that a lawsuit seeking reparations for the remaining survivors of the 1921 Tulsa Race Massacre have been dismissed. The 3 remaining survivors had argued that the damage inflicted during the massacre was a, quote, public nuisance and were seeking relief. They also wanted to recover for unjust enrichment that others have gained from the exploitation of the massacre. They were children when a white mob destroyed the Greenwood district of the city, which was known as a Black Wall Street, over the course of roughly 24 hours. They argued that being connected to a historical event does not give a person unlimited rights to seek compensation. The judge, however, dismissed the suit with prejudice, meaning it cannot be filed again. Lawyers for former President Donald Trump asked the court to postpone the trial for the document case against him. In a late-night filing Monday, the attorneys cited the upcoming election as a reason to delay the trial. They said in part, quote, proceeding to trial during the pendency of a presidential election cycle will create extraordinary challenges in the jury selection process. Adding, quote, the court should therefore withdraw the current order setting trial and postpone any consideration of a new trial date. The Justice Department is asking for a mid-December trial date. Well, the gunman convicted in a racist attack on Hispanic shoppers at a Texas Walmart in 2019 will never again see the outside of a prison. U.S. District Judge sentenced 24-year-old Patrick Crusius to 90 consecutive life sentences for killing 23 people at a Walmart in the border town of El Paso. He pleaded guilty to federal hate crime charges earlier this year after federal prosecutors took the death penalty off the table.
Even if we think that guilt is very clear, it saves them the time and resources of a trial. And it still allows the victims' families their moment in court because of the sentencing proceeding.
There is another case against Crusius set to proceed in Texas state court. Prosecutors have said they intend to seek the death penalty there. Severe weather took the form of heavy rains and flooding on the East Coast yesterday. New York has been the target for much of Mother Nature's wrath in recent days. Bays Gomez has the details.
Roads are ripped apart and washed away.
They're calling this a 1,000-year event.
A historic storm that hit Highland Falls with 9 inches of rainfall Sunday and created deadly, raging floodwaters that killed a 43-year-old woman and overtook entire neighborhoods.
It was a nightmare. The water was so high up on this bridge, it was coming over the bridge a good 3-4 feet.
Gushing rapids ripped up sidewalks in Wagon Green apartments. Neighbors there helped each other evacuate when rescuers were inundated with hundreds of calls for help. Governor Kathy Hochul said Monday the storm and its damages are among the worst in New York history.
This is the new normal, And we in government, working with our partners on the ground, have to work with our communities to be prepared for the worst because the worst continues to happen.
Orange County Executive Steve Newhouse was helping rescue efforts on the ground.
We have an emergency.
When he heard massive portions of Route 218, the size of boulders, collapse.
There was a lot of feelings of helplessness for people. When I showed up on the scene, the police chief was there. 3 of the police cars were underwater.
Firefighters in nearby Ontario County in New York say they received more than 150 water-related calls and performed dozens of rescues. That's a look at some of today's top national stories. Here's Chris with a look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got ourselves a pretty decent start to our day across the 4 states. However, it's going to get very hot, and we do have some scattered storm chances. We'll take a complete look at that forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns.
In July, tax credits and savings. GoPascal.com.
Purchase a brick today and be a permanent part of the foundation at Vida Nova Village, Joplin.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 6:17 now on this Tuesday morning across the 4 states. And let's talk about what we're expecting for us here as we head into the afternoon. And we're going to get some cloud cover from thunderstorm activity that's down across central Oklahoma. Then as we head into the afternoon and early evening, we could start to see a few pop-up storms around the area. Not anticipating anything strong or severe with this activity, but we could see a stray pop-up storm or two. Then as we head into the rest of our evening for Tuesday into Wednesday, it's going to be pretty calm. It's going to be pretty warm as well. We got a hot day today and an even hotter day tomorrow, and we'll talk more about that in a moment. However, we have additional thunderstorm chances as we go into Wednesday late evening and into the overnight hours. So we have a few showers early evening, and then overnight we start to see a few more organized showers and thunderstorms across the area, and some of those could be strong, possibly severe, so it's something we'll keep an eye on for you. Once that clears out, our Thursday will be hot again, and then we'll see additional thunderstorms possible as we head into Thursday night. So as we go into tomorrow, tomorrow night, really, we do have an elevated risk for some strong, possibly severe thunderstorms across the area. And then we have that low-end risk for us on Thursday with the possibility of a few strong storms out there as well. MoDOT camera, 20th and Range Line. We're looking good so far. And the KDOT camera at 69 and East 520th Avenue just south of Pittsburgh. Also looking pretty good this morning. And as we look at our camera at 7th and Range Line, we've got this beautiful sunrise out there. We had some partly cloudy skies. We're sitting at 72 in Joplin right now. So again, warmer than where we were yesterday to the tune of 10 to 15 degrees across the area. We've got 70s in Stockton, Nevada, Fort Scott, Pittsburgh, Lamar, 75 in Chanute, 74 Yates Center, Neodesha, 71 Chautauqua, Miami, and 68 Neosho and Monette. Now as we get our morning started, again, we'll have some of those clouds from the thunderstorms in central Oklahoma. Doesn't stop us from getting warm though, mid-80s by late morning. And as we head into the afternoon, yeah, it's going to be hot. Mid-90s out there. Heat index values could easily push around 100 or so. And so you need to be taking precautions. And then, of course, we'll see the possibility of a couple of pop-up storms. We clear out in the evening. We stay pretty darn toasty out there, and we'll stay pretty mild overnight as well. Temperatures only dropping back into the mid-70s across the area. And then we do have an alert day for tomorrow because of the heat. Tomorrow's temperatures, yeah, we're looking at lower 100s, 101 out there. And that puts our heat index values, by the way, for Wednesday, anywhere from 105 to 110 degrees out there. And some areas could get just a pinch higher than that. So you've absolutely got to take this seriously. You've absolutely got to take precautions if you are outdoors, or if possible, limit your time outdoors if you can. And we're looking just as hot on Thursday, right around 99 degrees. We'll have those late night thunderstorms Wednesday, late evening thunderstorms again on Thursday. More evening thunderstorm chances on Friday. We're still in the mid-90s though, but once we get beyond that, we cool back a little into the upper 80s across the area. Saturday looking pretty good. Sunday though, additional scattered thunderstorm chances, and those will persist all the way through next Wednesday. However, as we head into the next work week, our temperatures begin to rise again as well as we start to go into the low to mid 90s by next week. Let's check your forecast. We'll be back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Topping Health Watch this morning, women working for 10 years or more as a hairdresser or similar roles are 3 times more likely to be diagnosed with ovarian cancer. Women in construction carry a similar risk, and surprisingly, accountants have double the risk. According to a study in the journal Occupational and Environmental Medicine, The risk comes with prolonged exposure to up to 18 different agents such as talcum powder, ammonia, and hydrogen peroxide. 5-year-olds are a few months behind in development due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Researchers in Japan looked at kids who grew from 3 to 5 years old and found they were about 4 months behind in physical, language, and social skills. The study did not find the same negative results for children who grew from 1 to 3 years old. And more than a quarter of children in the U.S. missed a doctor's appointment during the pandemic. Researchers at the University of Health Sciences and Pharmacy in St. Louis found older children were more likely to have missed preventative care, as well as those in households with a higher number of children. Asian or Pacific Islander, Hispanic, as well as multiracial groups also missed out more on those care visits. Lawmakers are raising the alarm over a popular energy drink. It has 6 times the caffeine of a can of Coke, poses a health risk to children and teenagers. Gloria Pazmino reports.
It's one of the hottest trends of the summer.
Uh-oh.
Now, the influencer-created energy drink Prime is facing growing scrutiny.
This is an eye-popping level of caffeine for a young kid's body.
Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer is calling on the U.S. Food and Drug Administration to investigate the product. Prime energy drinks contain more than double the caffeine of a can of Red Bull and 6 times more caffeine than a can of Coca-Cola.
The amount of caffeine in these drinks can give children and teens headaches. It can give them jitters, nervousness. It can interfere with the sleep cycle, which is so important to the developing brain.
According to its website, the company does not recommend the energy drinks for anyone under the age of 18. Still, Schumer claims the company is targeting children through social media.
Kids see it on their phones as they scroll, and then they actually have a need for it.
The company also sells a caffeine-free drink called Prime Hydration, but there are concerns the branding between the two products are too similar.
Because the product is billed as a hydration and sports drink in its other near-identical form, kids are likely to ingest cans of this stuff with the parents being unaware.
I'm Gloria Pasmino reporting.
That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
We've got ourselves another hot day across the 4 states today. Temperatures will continue to rise across the area. We're also watching the possibility of some scattered pop-up thunderstorms as we head into the afternoon and early evening hours. As you can see, not everybody will get showers and thunderstorms, but at least a few of us might. We'll take another look at your forecast and just how hot it's going to get when the KOAM Morning News returns.
You age in place. Tell your provider I choose Phoenix. You can even reach out. Call and ask to speak to our care team.
Right now at 6:30, Webb City says goodbye to a historic city landmark since 1908 to make room for a fast food restaurant.
And we've got ourselves a pretty decent start to our Tuesday morning. However, we are going to get hot across the area, and we're watching some scattered thunderstorm chances. Take a look at that forecast coming up.
And the Girard Public Library not only cultivates learning between the pages of a book, as it hosts a presentation on how to cultivate backyard chickens.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's now 6:29. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. So it's a little bit warmer out there, as we mentioned, to the tune of 10 to 15 degrees warmer than where we were yesterday. However, that's just a small sign of things to come over the next 2 to 3 days here in the 4 states. Now, this morning we are going to be impacted and already are being impacted by some cloud cover related to thunderstorms down in central Oklahoma. We will not be impacted by those thunderstorms, but they will at least spread some cloud cover. Unfortunately, though, that cloud cover does not do anything to keep our temperatures any lower today. As we head through the afternoon and into the early evening hours, as you see on the future track, could see a few pop-up storms out there. So unfortunately, not everybody getting rain, but at least a couple of us may get a stray shower or two. Then we'll head into our Wednesday. Now, Wednesday's looking to be very hot across the area. And then we're going to see additional thunderstorm chances as we go late evening and overnight Wednesday into Thursday morning. So by the evening, could see a few stray showers out there. And then, as we go later into the evening and overnight, we'll get a few more organized thunderstorms across the area, and some of these could be strong, possibly severe, so something we'll keep an eye on for you. Once that clears out, our Thursday is going to be almost a repeat of Wednesday, very hot with more thunderstorms later in the evening. So right now, we do have that elevated risk for parts of the area for us for those thunderstorms Wednesday night into early Thursday morning, and then we've got a low-end risk for some stronger storms Thursday evening across the area. Right now, MoDOT camera 20th and range line. The sun is rising. There are some clouds out there, though, and the same from the KDOT camera at 69 and East 520th Avenue. Getting some sunlight and some cloud cover out there, and you can see a better view of that from our camera at 7th and range line. There's the sun. There's the clouds. We're sitting with partly cloudy skies, 72 in Joplin right now. South breeze at 14. Could be a little gusty this morning. Nothing too crazy, but a little bit on the breezy side. 71 Iola, 72 Fort Scott, 71 Nevada, Lamar, Carthage, 70 in Pittsburgh, 75 already in Chanute, and 72 in Miami. As we go through the morning, again, mostly cloudy skies from that activity down to the southwest. And we'll go into the mid-80s as we reach late morning. Highs today, mid-90s. Heat index values could approach around 100, maybe slightly above, so make sure you are taking precautions out there. We will continue to monitor our storm chances over the next couple of days, and we'll take another full look at your forecast and how hot it's going to be for the rest of the week here in a few more minutes. Tanya?
All right, thanks, Chris. A teen texts she is in trouble, which leads to a police pursuit in Bates County, Missouri. At about 10:15 Sunday night, authorities received information about a female who was 18 years old, held against her will by two men and taken from the Kansas City area. According to the report, the girl's mother had received text messages from her daughter describing the two males and the vehicle. A trooper and a Bates County deputy spotted the vehicle at about 10:20 and engaged in pursuit. Authorities were able to box in the vehicle and take the suspects into custody. The female was reunited with her family. A search of the vehicle revealed a Draco AK-47 pistol. And this is a developing story. You can head over to KOAMnewsnow.com as new information becomes available. Trailer fire takes the lives of two horses near Oklahoma City. Authorities say the trailer was fully engulfed when firefighters arrived. The OHP says a pickup hauling the trailer caught fire, eventually spreading to the fifth wheel trailer. The family was driving back from the National Little Britches Rodeo Finals to the International Finals Youth Rodeo. And a Lawrence County, Missouri man dies from injuries sustained in a crash from last Thursday. Authorities say 38-year-old Jared Luders of Aurora was driving east on US 60 in Verona when he crossed the center line and hit 82-year-old Mance Wilkerson's car head-on. Wilkerson succumbed to his injuries. Luders suffered serious injuries from the crash. Webb City Landmark will face demolition this week to make way for a new Popeyes restaurant. Built in 1908, the iconic house on South Madison Street has a significant historical value as it once belonged to the then mayor George Washington Moore. The last owner of the place was Connie Sweet. She lived there for more than half a century and raised her kids there. According to the family, the house was for sale for 11 years. The city of Webb City says the house is not on any list of historic registers. To honor the history of the house, the new Popeyes location will have a historical wall incorporating columns of the house and displaying pictures of it.
Sad. I sat out here when they started it the other morning. I brought my lawn chair out and watched, and it's just was an emotional thing.
It's sad, but it's just the cost of keeping it up has just gotten so out of hand. I know towards the end it was just hard to make the utility payments.
Demolition process started last Wednesday when the pool was broken into pieces. Now they're taking down the garage, and the entire house should be on the ground by the end of the week. Popeyes construction is scheduled to start August 1st, and the fast food restaurant should be open 4 months later. Speaking of chicken, one area library hatches a plan for people interested in raising chickens in their backyard. On Monday, the Girard Public Library hosted a presentation on backyard chickens and incubating eggs. An expert with the K-State Research and Extension Office delivered the presentation. It covered caring for chickens, their housing needs and design, and the basics of incubating eggs.
Do have a lot of predators, so that is one common misconception is people get chickens, they might not have a predator-proof coop for them or may not lock them up at night, and then unfortunately a raccoon or something finds them during the night.
Girard Public Library will host a paint night event next Monday. That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour in the KOAM Morning News. Making sure your drinking water is clean.
Harmful chemicals. I'm Willie James Inman with the results of a new report.
And we've got a hot day ahead of us today, even hotter tomorrow with some scattered thunderstorms in the forecast. We'll take a look at that when we come back. But first, we've got ourselves another live look from the Jasper County Youth Fair in Carthage.
In Consumer Watch this morning, Amazon's annual two-day Prime Day event starts today. It's a retailer's largest sale event of the year as consumers flock to the website for discounts on everything from electronics to kitchenware. And there's a new wrinkle this time around, though. Amazon is offering invite-only deals for some of its hottest products that it's fairly certain will sell out. Shoppers have to request invites to purchase the goods, but are not required to buy them if chosen.
It is very interesting how they're going to be dishing these out. Is it first come, first serve or whatnot? And are we going to be seeing more of this when Black Friday comes along? Are other retailers going to look at this and say, we'll do the same thing?
The items can be found on Amazon's main Prime page. There's only a few of them, including an Amazon Fire TV, a SodaStream, and a Motorola Razr phone. Florida is now America's inflation hotspot. The Miami, Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach area has the highest inflation rate of U.S. metro areas. According to data from the Consumer Price Index, at 9%, it's more than double the national average. The Sunshine State's growing population has been pushing up inflation, particularly through higher housing costs. Economists say it's a trend that accelerated during the pandemic when remote work gave some Americans the freedom to relocate. Florida's population grew the most of any state from July 2021 to July of 2022. During that same period, the state also had the fastest population growth by percentage. Well, the federal government is trying to make credit card late fees less painful for consumers. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau has proposed new rules. It's proposing to slash late fees from an average of $41 to $8 per violation. The 100% minimum payment requirement companies can charge would also be reduced to 25%. Consumers would also have a 15-day grace period for people paying late. The banking industry opposes the changes, though. Bankers say the changes would hurt the industry's bottom line. Well, a recent study from the U.S. Geological Survey found nearly half of the country's tap water could be contaminated with potentially toxic compounds known as PFAs. A new report looks at which water filters can block the chemicals. Willie James Inman has the story.
The Environmental Working Group tested 10 water pitchers and found some of the most well-known are not effective at fully filtering out PFAS. The so-called forever chemicals used in products like nonstick cookware, stain-resistant carpets, and cosmetics have been linked to an increased risk for a number of health problems.
Cancer, disruptions in the immune system, developmental delays in children, fertility problems, high cholesterol, and high blood pressure, to name a few.
EWG Senior Science Analyst Sydney Evans says 3 of the filters tested stood above the rest.
They actually reduced PFAS down to non-detectable levels, which is really great. We weren't really expecting to see that.
In the study, pitchers from clearly filtered and zero water blocked 100% of PFAS tested. So did the Standing Travel Berkey filter system. The Epic Pure pitcher was close, blocking 98% of PFAS.
For these pitchers to work properly, you need to consistently change out the filter, and buying those new filters can add up.
The travel Berkey sells for $327, but the filter lasts 8 years. The other recommended pitchers have a lower upfront price, but changing the filters can cost hundreds of dollars a year. For a full year's use, Epic has the lowest price.
It was really easy to set up the filter. It flows through pretty quick. It's a decent size, so you don't have to refill it that much.
The Environmental Protection Agency is now considering new rules that would restrict the amount of PFAS in tap water. Evans says until then, these filters can help reduce your exposure. Willie James Inman, CBS News, Washington.
Well, today, Subway restaurants plan to give away up to 1 million 6-inch subs to showcase their new deli sliced meats. To get a free sub, you'll need to physically go to a participating location between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m. and choose a 6-inch sub from their new Deli Heroes lineup menu. The company invested more than $80 million in new deli meat slicers for 20,000 restaurants, and they're doing this to show off the new products. There's only one free sandwich allowed per person, and they will not take any other coupons. That's it for Consumer Watch. Here's Chris with another look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got ourselves a hot day across the 4 states today, even hotter as we head into our Wednesday, and some scattered thunderstorms out there. We're going to take a complete look at your forecast, including the heat and those thunderstorm chances when we come back. Also, it's almost time to celebrate birthdays and anniversaries, and they're coming up after the break. But before we do any of that, why don't we head up to New York City, see what's happening on CBS Mornings.
I'm Nate Burleson. Coming up on CBS Mornings, Mission Impossible Week continues. Newcomer Haley Atwell will be here to talk about joining the franchise and doing daredevil stunts alongside Mr. Blockbuster himself, Tom Cruise. That's coming up on CBS Mornings.
The gift of true comfort this summer with an HVAC system replacement, tax credits and savings. GoPascal.com.
All right, time for some Tuesday birthdays across the 4 states, and we're going to begin in Oronogo with Micah Potter celebrating birthday number 5. Happy birthday wishes to our big boy from Mommy, Daddy, Jai, and Kyla.
All right, happy birthday, Micah, and happy birthday wishes going out to Creedon O'Banion, who's now 9 years old in Arma, Kansas. Hope you have a wonderful birthday.
And Caden and Colton Dole celebrating birthday number 9 in Pittsburgh. Caden is on the left, Colton is on the right. A very happy birthday to the Doles.
All right, in Fort Scott, Bryson and Lorelei Clark are celebrating their entrance into their teenage years, 13 for the Clarks, and birthday love coming from Nana and Papa.
And Charisma Hightower celebrating birthday number 18 in Buffalo. Very happy birthday, Charisma.
All right, and Jane Riley is celebrating birthday number 61 this year in Neosho. Happy birthday wishes coming from Marcia, Michelle, and all the family.
And over in Columbus, it's birthday number 82 for Jenna Zom. A very happy birthday to you, Jenna.
All right, David and Tanya Smedley are celebrating 36 years of wedded bliss. Congrats out to the Smedleys in Thayer, Kansas.
And Jerry Luke celebrating another year wiser up in Mulberry. Happy birthday, Jerry.
And Bryker Hensley turning 10 years old this year in Nevada, Missouri, with love from your loving family.
All right, we love celebrating these birthdays and anniversaries, and Tanya can tell you where you need to send them.
If you have a birthday or an anniversary coming up, all you have to do is send all the details and the pictures, we love those pics, to this email, birthdays with an S at KOAMnewsnow.com.
And of course, while you're on our website, make sure you take time to sign up for the KOAM Birthday Club. It is easy to do, and you get special deals from local businesses. You also get a special birthday message from your friends here at KOAM. So make sure you head over to KOAMnewsnow.com and sign up for that birthday club today. All right, let's talk about that forecast for us today. So we're going to get hot. We're going to continue to get hot as we go through Wednesday and Thursday, and we're going to see some scattered storm chances. Now, this morning, you may have looked outside. You may have smelled the rain. You may see the cloud cover and go, well, why isn't it raining right now? Well, unfortunately, the cloud cover that we're getting this morning is coming from thunderstorms, a thunderstorm complex down across central Oklahoma. So we're not going to get anything out of that other than the cloud cover. And of course, we're going to start to get some humidity out there. That's going to start to build as well. So let's go to noon. Could start to see a few stray pop-up storms as we head through the afternoon and into the early evening hours. So not everybody is going to get a shower or storm, but at least some of us could get some kind of rain out there. All of us, though, are going to get in on the heat and the humidity. We'll go into our Wednesday. We're going to spend the majority of the day mostly clear to partly cloudy, and we're going to be downright hot as well. Then as we head into the evening, we're going to start to see the possibility of a few stray showers out in southeast Kansas. And then later in the evening and into the overnight, we're going to see more organized thunderstorm activity begin to develop and roll through the area. And some of these storms, while they'll be scattered, could be strong, possibly severe. So it's something we'll keep an eye on for you. Those will clear out through the overnight, and we'll spend Thursday hot. And then we'll have another chance for some thunderstorms Thursday evening. So we've got an elevated risk for some strong, possibly severe storms tomorrow night into the overnight hours for us on Wednesday. And then we do have a low-end risk for the area on Thursday for the possibility of a couple of strong storms Thursday evening across the 4 states. MoDOT camera 20th and range line looking good. Same from the KDOT camera at 69 and East 520th Avenue just south of Pittsburgh. Our camera at 7th and range line, there are those clouds. So we are sitting at partly cloudy in Joplin, about 10 to 15 degrees warmer now than we were yesterday as we are sitting at 72. Dew points up there at 63, humidity climbing as well, and that's going to be the problem is it's going to be hot and humid over the next few days across the area. Now the good news is thanks to some of those thunderstorms out there, we are starting to get a bit of a southerly breeze off of them. South breeze at 14, so through the morning we could see some gusty winds at least briefly. They won't really do much for us, but at least there'll be a little breeze to go with everything out there. All right, let's look at temperatures. We got 72, Fort Scott, Iola, 75s now in Yates Center and Chanute, 74, Neodesha, 73, Independence, Parsons, 74, Chautauqua, Miami. A little cooler on the Missouri side, 71s, Nevada, Lamar, Carthage, Stockton, 69, Monette, 67, Cassville, and sitting at 70 in Neosho. Now, as we get our morning started, we are going to again be mostly cloudy through the morning, thanks to those thunderstorms down to our southwest, but that doesn't stop our temperatures from warming up as we go back into the mid-80s by this afternoon. The late morning this afternoon, unfortunately, not mid-80s. We're talking mid-90s. And with that and with the humidity, we're looking at heat index values today right around 100 degrees, maybe a slight bit over that. So make sure you're taking precautions out there. We'll otherwise be partly cloudy, and then we'll see that possibility for some scattered thunderstorms. It is going to get hotter yet. In fact, we have an alert day for us on Wednesday. We'll take a look at those temperatures and the news you need to know here in just a moment. And when the KOAM Morning News switches over to Fox 14, we're going to take a closer look at how artificial intelligence has already impacted Hollywood. Hollywood actors could soon join Hollywood writers on the picket line, and one of the main issues could involve the use of AI and the replacement of human beings. We've got that story and a lot more when the KOAM Morning News switches over to Fox 14 at 7 a.m.
Rifle badge during his service. We're proud to salute Wayne Killingsworth, a 4-state hero.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. A trailer fire takes the lives of 2 horses near Oklahoma City. Authorities say the trailer was fully engulfed when firefighters arrived. The OHP says a pickup hauling the trailer caught fire, eventually spreading to the 5th-wheel trailer. The owners were driving back from the National Little Britches Rodeo Finals to the International Finals Youth Rodeo. Webb City plans to demolish a city landmark to make way for a new Popeyes restaurant. Built in 1908, the house on South Madison Street once belonged to the then mayor George Washington Moore. The city of Webb City says the house is not on any list of historic registers. To honor the history, the new Popeyes location will have a historical wall incorporating columns of the house and displaying pictures on it. The Reddings Mill Bar and Grill heads to the auction block. The property in Reddings Mill, Missouri has a rich history dating back to the 1800s as first a home and then a resort and then restaurant. The auction includes several pieces of furniture and appliances as well as the building. The business says the auction will begin before 10 this morning at the Newton County Courthouse in Neosho. Speaking, chickens, on Monday, the Girard Public Library hosted a presentation on raising backyard chickens. An expert with the K-State Research and Extension Office delivered the presentation. It covered caring for chickens, their housing needs and design, and the basics of incubating eggs. That's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
And as you head out the door, it's pretty pleasant now, but we have got temperatures moving into the mid-90s today. We'll be partly cloudy, and then we could see a few pop-up thunderstorms this afternoon into the early evening hours. And then later this evening, we'll clear out, and we are going to be warm tonight, dropping back in the mid-70s. Alert day tomorrow, temperatures lower 100s, heat index values 110, possibly a little higher than that, so make sure you're taking precautions. 99 on Thursday. We have thunderstorm chances Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night, and then a little cooler this weekend, back into the upper 80s.
All right, well, coming up today at noon, we're making frozen margarita pie in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
And your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings. President Biden is in Lithuania today for the 2023 NATO Summit. Ahead on CBS Mornings, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken joins the show from Lithuania for a closer look at the summit and whether or not Ukraine will be offered membership into the alliance.
All right, or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. And this morning, Charlene Patton from the Kansas Soybean Commission stopping by the studio to show us how to make brownie triple chocolate bark.
Plus, the interviews continue. We've got a visit from Olivia Ryan. She's here to tell us all about the upcoming bowling event for Special Olympics Kansas.
And we'll have details on a charity golf tournament you might want to take part in.
Absolutely. And that's going to wrap it up for us for now. We had so much fun doing this that we are going to come back and do it again tomorrow at 5 a.m.
And we're going to do it again today at noon.